Okay, the manufacturer of a refrigerator system for beer kegs produces refrigerators that are supposed to maintain a true mean average, right, temperature of 47 degrees Fahrenheit, ideal for a certain type of German Pilsner. Is that how you say that? Some kind of German beer? The owner of the brewery does not agree with the refrigerator manufacturer and claims he can prove that the true mean temperature is not really 47, the true average temperature. Assuming that a hypothesis test to support this claim has been conducted at the 0.05 significance level and the p-value came out to be 0.1123, what is the conclusion? So this is another one of these where they've already run the numbers for us. We don't have to run the numbers. That's what they're saying here. Assuming that a hypothesis test has been conducted and that they're telling us the p-value. This is just a test of our ability to understand conclusions of hypothesis tests. All right, so you know what we need to do. We start with the claim. What is being claimed? Do you see it right here? He claims he can prove the true mean temperature is not. How do I write that?
The equal sign through the line with the line through it.
Yeah, the mean. So the mu, or you can just make a u, it's a Greek m for mean, does not equal 47, right? Mean is not 47. That's what that's saying, huh? Mean is not, that's what's being claimed. The mean, the average, he's saying the average temperature in your refrigerator is not 47. And it's wrecking my fancy German beer, right? That's what he's claiming. All right, let's go forward and do the HO and the H1. So what's HO? Always.
Equals.
Always equals. Always equals. So that's nice, okay? And remember, one of these two, either HO or H1, has to be the same as the claim. One of these two attorneys is going to represent the claim. So it is an HO because the claim is not equals and HO is equals. So therefore, it's got to be H1. So he's got to match the claim, and we write claim by him, right? Everybody good so far? One of those two always matches the claim. Let's write the evidence. You know how it works. Weak evidence will lead us to HO. Strong evidence is what's required to go with H1. Just like innocent is assumed unless strong evidence beyond a reasonable doubt proves guilty. So, all right, let's go through. What happened? Now, the p-value came out to be 0.1123, and the significance level is 0.05. So let's write that down. P-value. I always put the p-value on the left, and then the alpha significance level came out to, chose, the level of the test was 5%. So is the p-value greater or less?
Greater.
Greater.
Greater. Greater. 11 is greater than 5. So what does that mean when the p-value is greater? If you go to the notes, I think you know exactly what that means, right? I mean, I don't know where to write it though. I don't really have any room. Maybe I'll put it over here. When, or I don't have room for the word when. I'll say the P is the P low or not low?
Not low.
Yeah, it's greater, it's big. It's not low, right? So we have our saying. If the P is low, the null must go. If the P is not low, the HO, which is the null. Null means 0. If you said this check is null and void, that means it's worth 0. Null is 0. It's a fancy science math word for 0. The null is the H0. If the P is not low, the HO does not go away. If it doesn't go away, then we keep it. So we're keeping HO. So our conclusion is HO. That's our conclusion, right? We're keeping HO, which means evidence was weak, and we believe that it's equal to 47. Let's read through the questions. There is sufficient evidence. Is that right? Is there sufficient evidence?
No.
No way. No way, right? Evidence is not sufficient. Evidence is weak. That's why we went with HO. Whenever you're going with HO, there must have been weak evidence. So let's cross off these two that say sufficient. It's got to be not sufficient. It's one of these not sufficient ones. Which one? Let's see. To conclude, there is not sufficient evidence to conclude that the mean temperature is different from 47. There is not sufficient evidence to conclude that the mean temperature is 47. Ooh,
It's the last one.
You're saying the last one? Good job.
Yeah.
How'd you know?
Because the
Oh, wait, I'm
HO.
sorry. It's actually the other way. I got
Okay.
confused. This is really, it really is tricky. You know what's so tricky about this is they said the word not. Because I know how you're thinking, and I did too for a second. And I've done a million of these. Yeah, because you tend to, here's what we tend to do. So everybody hearing me on this, dial in. I really don't want to fool you on the exam on this, but I do want you to learn this. So I will put this on the test. It's important that you can read this careful. It's about super careful reading. It fools me too sometimes. If you just read this part, mean temperature is different versus mean temperature is 47, you're going to think, oh, for sure, is 47 is the right one because that's what we concluded, right? Mr. Herring, you said keep HO, and HO says is 47. Yeah, but you can't take part of a sentence and ignore the rest of the sentence and expect to have the right meaning. We're ignoring this word and this word. Not this and not that. So it's reverse. They're saying that it's number 4 is wrong because it's saying there's not enough evidence to prove that. Oh, no. We did go with, they're saying we were not proving that. Oh, no, that's wrong. They're saying it's this one. There's not enough evidence to say it's different. Right. That's it. That's it. Why? Because that means this. There was not enough evidence to prove not equals. Right. That's what they were trying. That was the claim. They were claiming not equals and trying to prove not equals, but that would have required strong evidence. And there wasn't enough evidence to prove that. They were not able to prove. They were not able to prove that it was different. So we're sticking with that it's equal. We're sticking with the refrigerator average temperature is still equal to 47. Right? Does everybody see that? I know that's not easy, but this is a college level math class. So we do expect you to be a careful, logical reader. That is our goal, right? And you want that for yourself, right? You want to grow in your ability. You might be thinking, I don't really care, Mr. Aaron. I hope not. I hope you're wanting to improve in every area. I'm sure part of you is, but just part of you also doesn't want to have to spend forever doing statistics. I understand. I totally understand. But this will
Mr. Herring,
help you. Yes.
I don't understand why it's not the last one.
I know. I appreciate your humble and kind question. Yeah, let me talk about it a little bit more. If I said to you, well, yeah, let me not make up another. Let me just go back to these exact words. It says there's not enough evidence to prove the temperature's different. That's right. That's what actually happened. let's go back up to this. Let's make sure we're really clear on this kind of stuff. And then I think those words will make sense. What were we doing? HO was equals, right? So they were saying the average temperature is 47. That was HO, and that would be what we would, that's what we assumed to be true. And if evidence is weak, which it turned out to be, then we would stick with that conclusion. Whereas if you have strong evidence, like if they measured the refrigerators, so what the guy did is he basically grabbed a bunch of refrigerators and he took the refrigerator and measured the average temperature at various times. Anyway, it turned out it would take strong evidence to prove it's not equals. That means different, doesn't it? Not equals means different. How about I write that word? Maybe that'll help. Not equals, this means different, right? If something's not equal, it's different. If it's equals, it's the same. Okay, so in other words, what's being said here, what's being tested is if we have weak evidence, we're going to conclude it's equal, it's the same. The temperature of the refrigerator is the same as 47 degrees, like the manufacturer's claiming. But if we have strong evidence, then we're going to go with the claim of the brewery, which says it's not equal to 47. The temperature is different. The average temperature is different than 47. Well, what does this say? There's not enough evidence to conclude that the temperature is different than 47. Yeah, right? We went with this one because there was not enough evidence. There was not strong evidence to prove it was different. There was not enough evidence to prove it was different. Right, there was not. So we went with HO. This is what really happened.
Okay, when you explain it like that, it makes sense.
Good, good. I know these are hard, but nothing that makes you grow, you know the saying, right? Nothing that makes you grow comes easy, right? That's the whole point. If it's hard, that means it's new and it's something you haven't mastered yet, and there's room for growth. So that's good news, right? We want to grow as people in knowledge and all kinds of ways. So wrestle. Don't give up on the wrestling. Don't check out. Wrestle with these words. I experienced the same thing when I was taking my millions of math and science classes. I would read things so confusing, not understand them, but I would just keep reading them, and day after day, read them, and eventually my mind would grasp them. I'm really not that quick of a person. It takes time and effort, but you can do it. So just keep reading this sentence to yourself, and it will make more and more sense. So there's not enough evidence to prove that the temperature is different than 47. That's exactly right. All right. I probably beat that horse enough.